There is a special kind of quiet that fills a house when you're waiting for a phone to ring. It's not a peaceful quiet, it's a heavy, humming silence that seems to swallow every other sound. For 2 years, 7 months, and 3 days, I waited for my daughter, Sarah, to call. I'd sit in my armchair, the one by the window that looks out onto the empty street, and just listen to it. The refrigerator would kick on with a low groan. The old clock in the hallway would tick, each second a tiny hammer on my heart. I'd hold the phone in my lap, my thumb tracing the cold, dark screen, my hope, a fragile little bird trapped in my chest. It would flutter wildly at every wrong number, every junk text, but her name never appeared. And one day, I realized the waiting had stopped. The hope had simply worn out. The silence didn't just live in my house anymore. It had moved in, unpacked its bags, and made a home inside my bones. It wasn't always like this. Oh no. Our home used to be a symphony of beautiful noise. The slam of the screen door that I was always meaning to fix, the smell of chocolate chip cookies burning just a little at the edges because we were always too impatient to take them out on time. Sarah's laughter, bright and uncontainable, echoed down the hallway as she chased the dog. She was my wild, bright girl, all tangled curls and scraped knees, who believed with her whole heart that I could fix anything. A broken toy, a bad dream, a bruised ego. All it took was one of my kisses and a brightly colored bandage. After her father passed, the world got very quiet and very large. It was just the two of us then, a tiny team against the world. We built a life in the cracks of our grief. We had our rituals, Friday night movie marathons, buried under a mountain of blankets, surrounded by bowls of popcorn. She'd always fall asleep halfway through the second film, her head a comforting weight on my shoulder, her breath warm against my neck. In those moments, I'd feel it, a deep, solid certainty that despite the pain, despite the struggle, we were going to be okay. I thought that bond was unbreakable, a fortress built not of stone, but of shared memories and unconditional love. I was so naive. Then she met Mark. He was polished, ambitious. He came from a world of quiet dinners and designer labels, a world I didn't understand and could never afford. I remember the first time he came over for dinner. I saw the way his eyes scanned our small, cluttered living room, the way he subtly wiped his feet on the mat for a little too long, a slight, almost imperceptible frown when he saw the mismatched plates. I tried so hard. I'd spend hours preparing his favorite roast, I'd wear my one good dress, and I'd practice conversations in my head, but I always felt like I was an actor in a play I hadn't rehearsed, fumbling my lines, my very being feeling too loud, too clumsy, too much. The phone calls, once long and meandering, became shorter and more structured. "Just checking in, Mom, it's a busy week at work." I'd hear the hesitation in her voice, a new, formal tone. The distance wasn't a chasm that opened suddenly, it was a slow, steady erosion. A canceled visit here, a forgotten tradition there. She started using words I didn't recognize, talking about places I'd never seen. One Sunday, I called her, a fresh-baked apple pie cooling on the counter, ready to tell her all the neighborhood gossip. I could hear a party in the background, the sophisticated murmur of many voices, soft jazz music, and the bright clink of champagne glasses. "Oh, Mom," she said, her voice hushed, distant. "Now's not a good time. It's Mark's mother's birthday brunch." I looked down at the 2 placemats I'd set at my tiny kitchen table, at the single slice of pie I'd already cut for myself, knowing somehow she wouldn't come. "Of course, honey," I said, my voice strained and too bright. "Don't let me interrupt. Well, just have a good time." After we hung up, I sat there for a long, long time, just staring at the empty chair across from me. The silence in the kitchen was deafening. "I'm your mother," a small, wounded voice inside me whispered. When did I become an interruption? The final breaking point, the one that sealed the silence inside me, was so quiet, so utterly ordinary, it was almost cruel. It was my 65th birthday. I didn't expect a party, I didn't even expect a visit, but a call, a text with a heart emoji, something. I waited all day, I watched the sun move in a slow arc across the linoleum floor, a patch of gold that stretched and thinned and finally faded into gray twilight. The phone stayed dark and silent. I went to bed with a hollow ache in my stomach that had nothing to do with hunger. The next morning, out of some old, stubborn habit, I opened my laptop, and there it was, a post from Mark, a beautifully composed photo of his entire family at a glittering upscale restaurant. They were all laughing, leaning in together around a huge, elaborate cake. Candles flickered, and there was my Sarah, right in the center, her arm linked tightly with his mother's, her face turned toward the woman, laughing a laugh I hadn't heard in years. The caption read, "Celebrating the best mom in the world. We are so blessed to have you, Carol. You are our everything." The words hit me with a physical force. I actually stumbled back from the screen, my hand flying to my mouth. The best mom in the world, our everything. It felt like a public announcement of my retirement, a pink slip from the job of being her mother. The silence in my house wasn't just silence anymore. It was a verdict. I had been assessed, found wanting, and quietly, politely let go. Replaced by a newer, shinier model, a relic from a life she had outgrown. That was the day I truly gave up. I stopped jumping when the phone rang. I stopped looking at it with expectation. I let the silence win. I gave it a room in my heart, and I closed the door. Months drifted by. The seasons changed outside my window. I'd made a kind of peace with the quiet. It was a lonely peace, but it was stable. Then, on a rainy Tuesday, the mail came. A thick, manila envelope with no return address. But I knew her handwriting like I knew my own. My name, written in her looping script. My hands trembled violently. I could barely tear the paper. It wasn't a letter. It was a stack of my own old recipes, written in my handwriting on faded, splattered index cards. The card for her favorite banana bread was soft and stained with butter. The one from my lasagna had a tiny tomato sauce print on the corner. These were the blueprints of our old life, the maps of our love. And tucked between the card for chicken soup, the one I made every time she had a cold, and the chocolate brownies, was a small, folded square of notebook paper. "Mom," it began, the ink a little smudged, "I was trying to make your soup tonight, the one you made me when I was sick with the extra noodles. I had a cold, and all I wanted was that taste. I must have read the recipe 100 times, a pinch of this, a handful of that, but I couldn't remember the sound of your voice telling me how much pepper to add. I couldn't remember the smell of your perfume as you leaned over my shoulder to stir the pot, humming that old tune. I looked around my beautiful, quiet kitchen at all the perfect things, and I felt a loneliness so deep it stole my breath. I think I forgot how to come home. I was so busy building a new life, I forgot I was supposed to bring you with me. I'm so sorry. I'm just so sorry." I brought the note to my nose, as if I could somehow smell the past on it, the ghost of her childhood and the scent of my own kitchen. And I finally understood. All this time I thought the silence was my punishment, my solitary exile, but she was living in the same silence. A different house, a different postcode, a different life, but the same empty, echoing quiet. She was in a gilded cage, and she just realized the door was locked from the inside. I hadn't lost my daughter. We had just lost our way in the same forest, standing so close but unable to see each other through the trees. A calmness settled over me, a clarity I hadn't felt in years. I picked up the phone from the table. It felt light in my hand, no longer a symbol of my pain. My finger hovered over her name in my contacts. The last call was from 983 days ago. I took a deep, shaky breath, and for the first time in 2 years, 7 months, and 3 days, I pressed call. She answered on the first ring. "Mom," she whispered, her voice thick with tears, cracking with a hope I thought had died in us both. And in that single, broken word, the silence that had made a home in me finally began to pack its bags. Thank you, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for listening to my story. If my words have found a quiet corner in your own heart, if you've ever waited in the stillness for a voice that doesn't come, please know you are not alone. Your story, your echoes matter. If you feel comfortable, I would be honored to read a piece of it in the comments below. And if this resonated with you, a like or a subscription would be such a kindness. It helps these whispered stories find their way to others who might need to hear them. Be gentle with your heart.